What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily, a college football Saturday. We're basically college game day here with Aaron coming in or trying to live, and now he's out of here. He's over in getting ready to see a interesting game between Oklahoma there and Iowa State. Iowa State catching a 1.5 at home, but we're not going to spend too much time talking about that one, Papa Dude, because we got so much going on today. We'll kick it off with last night's World Series game. Verlander gets spotted 5, and they lose. What happened?
What would the odds of that been? My God. Suddenly this whole thing has changed, hasn't it? We talked about it yesterday. If Houston lost, this whole series changes. And I like the Phillies tonight. I do. These are pro athletes, and we sit around saying, well, how are they going to recover from that? They'll bounce back from that. But Philadelphia's got to have all the confidence in the world,
You got to think so. I mean, being able to get 5 back against Verlander is something no one's been able to do really all year. Phillies plus 123 tonight. If you look to the series now, Philadelphia minus 115, a short favorite in the series over Houston at this point. I would still lean toward Houston, but man, tonight is now a huge game for the Astros.
Yeah, I do too. I like the pitching matchup for the Phillies tonight. Wheeler has been fantastic down the stretch. The other guy is good, but he gives up some runs, and that Philly lineup can hit. So this is huge for Houston tonight. I think they're the better team, but they better get this one.
It was definitely no fear in this Phillies lineup either. Just to be able to show the resiliency that they did last night and come back in that situation. And they've done it all playoffs, so you really cannot doubt them at this point. Going to be an interesting game down there in Houston.
It sure is. And Philadelphia's bullpen held the Astros. And that's not an easy task either. Look at here. We got another visitor to the scene here.
Ironically, that's Aaron with a picture of Magic and Magic's
kid. Okay, I got you. And another thing, Mike, Sandy and I found this little hole in the wall place yesterday, and we were eating it's a little pizza joint, and we were sitting there, and each little booth had TVs, and they were discussing the World Series. And I said to Sandy about mattress, whatever he is, $70 million. Yeah, bet. And I said, all of us conspiracy experts say Philly's going to win the World Series. I'm beginning to wonder.
Well, it's funny because apparently he's got $75 million as a hedge because he's giving away anyone who spent $3,000 at Furniture Galaxy or whatever it is his mattress store. If you spent $3,000 and the Astros win the World Series, you get your money back. Okay. You know how many mattresses that is? If you divide $75 million by 3,000, it's
my gosh.
You could get a mattress pretty much for everyone in the U.S. So I call bullshit. I think he just wants to bet a lot of money on the Astros to win the World Series. That is the real reason he ended up with $10 million bet on the Astros to win the World Series.
Yeah.
All right, let's head over to the world of college football. We've been on fire with college football last night. Both dogs end up covering last night. You got an outright win there for Eastern Carolina going into BYU. Let's start out with the big noon kickoff here. Ohio State travels to Penn State. This is actually the shortest line of the year for Ohio State. They're laying 15.5 in Death Valley. What do you think, Papa Dude? Is this a spot where they cover or where they just win?
Traditionally, they've had trouble with Penn State in Penn State. I like Penn State plus the points in this one. Here's the deal. It could get away from them. They've got to be able to stop Ohio State's explosive plays. If they can do that, I think they move the ball a little bit on them. They can't get in a shootout. That's the whole key. But I kind of like Penn State. I think that's too many points. I don't think they're as good as Ohio State, and I think Ohio State's going to win. But I think they're going to win late. And the thing that kind of bothers me is they might pull away late and cover that. But I'm going to go with Penn State plus 16 in that one.
Good pick. This is the toughest team that Ohio State has faced all year. I think the largest spread prior to this game was 17, which they did not cover against Notre Dame, was worse than Penn State. You mentioned they've had struggles here traditionally. I think that kind of sticks around. I think it's going to happen again today. And I am telling you right now, C.J. Stroud is not good. I do not believe in C.J. Stroud one bit. I've watched him enough this year with superior talent against mediocre defenses, and he continues to struggle. I would not take him in the NFL draft if I was a GM. I had no interest in, and he could come back and burn me here, but I'm not impressed with what I've seen from C.J. Stroud so far this year.
And that's a very good point you made. This is their toughest test so far. They've not played anybody, and their schedule other than Michigan in this game is not very strong. And Another thing, I'm surprised this isn't the whiteout in Penn State, but
They
maybe
usually
they just do that at night.
Yep, they usually do it at night, and so that's why we didn't end up with the whiteout here. So it would be interesting to see what happens. I think Ohio State wins, but I would take the 15.5, 16, depending on what you can get there. All right, let's move over to a team we seem to talk about every single week, the 3:30 kickoff on Fox, Oklahoma State traveling into Kansas State. Still no respect here for Oklahoma State, catching a 1.5 on the road. K-State coming off a tough loss to TCU. Sanders is supposed to play today. We'll see what happens.
Mhm.
Any lean here with the Oklahoma State Kansas State game?
Almost made it part of my parlay. I just chickened out a little bit, and here's a dumb reason, but the main reason is I don't want to root for Oklahoma State, and I would have had to, and I can't do that. I can't, and that's why I got to watch myself on college because I'm too invested in it.
Yep.
I don't get it. I do not understand. They get a total lack of respect. And they should be favored in this game because the other thing is we don't know if Martinez is going to play for K-State, and he is a huge part of what they do, and he would be a factor in this game because K-State needs to control the ball, and their ball control offense is there. And so I like Oklahoma State a lot. The only thing is this that kind of worries me just a little bit about Oklahoma State. Third straight huge game for them. Tough to win. They lost one, bounced back last week, and won despite making a ton of mistakes. I think they win, but that could be a little bit of a factor. Can you get up 3 weeks in a row? You know,
I agree, and you can kind of question Kansas State in the same way. Last week faced TCU, had Iowa and Texas Tech the 2 prior weeks. Once we've gotten into the meat of this Big 12 schedule, a lot of fairly matched teams, I would say. And so you have a lot of these teams that are facing multiple big games in a row. Martinez is the key here for me. If he can't go for Kansas State, watch out. And if he gets hurt in game, this is one where I'll be watching. And if I see a Martinez injury, I will immediately play Oklahoma State the other way because you won't see that in-game line change right away because they do not factor in injuries in a lot of those in-game lines. So this is one where I'm interested in Oklahoma State, specifically in-game, specifically whether or not Martinez plays. If he doesn't play, I want to play Oklahoma State early. If he gets hurt, I want Oklahoma State in-game.
Yeah. Evidently, Vegas thinks Martinez is going to play.
This line tells you that he's playing, right? Yeah. I mean, there's no way this is -1.5 if they think the backup's starting.
I don't think so either. No.
All right, let's head out. What is it? Is it West now? It's still we're still on the East Coast here, but let's talk about the 7 p.m. kickoff on ESPN. 19th ranked Kentucky heading into Tennessee. Number 3 Tennessee coming off a massive win against Bama. They have just been rolling on the offensive side of the football. You can tell that by the total here. 62-point total with Kentucky seems a little rare. Defense not all that great, but that offense just can score and score and score. Are you interested in laying the 11.5 here, or do you want Kentucky in the rivalry game?
I love Kentucky and the way they play. I don't know whether they can control the explosiveness of Tennessee. If they can limit the big play and run the ball, which I think they can, I would like that, but I don't know that. I just don't know whether you can. Nobody has. Alabama couldn't. Why do we think Kentucky can? You know? So I think the line, if it was up there maybe just a little bit more, I might go with Kentucky, but I think Tennessee covers. I really like this Tennessee's offense. I think it's dynamite. I really do.
I think that the line is right. That kind of in between 10 and 14 feels about right to me, right? Where it's going to probably be a double-digit lead, but I don't know if it's the full 2 touchdowns. So I think the line's correct. I did bet this game, though.
Did you?
Tennessee team total, 37.5.
That's good.
Give me the over. I think they're going to put up a 40 burger without a problem here.
Well,
I'll take the over on the Tennessee team total, 37.5.
Right. And if they go over, if they get to 40, they're going to cover that because I don't think Tennessee's that type of team.
I'm worried a little bit about that defense. I'm not gonna lie. I'm worried a little bit about the defense, and if you have a team putting up that many points too, the back door is open for a defense that has flaws.
That's
right?
true.
And so I would much rather take the team total over here, which I'm much more confident in.
And that's why you're staying away from the line.
Exactly. I think the line's about right, but I think that team total is low. I think they're going to both put up points. I would lean toward the over as well, but I'm more confident in that Tennessee offense than I am in the Kentucky.
And here's another aspect of college football that we see. Tennessee's been patted on the back for 2 weeks in a row. Kentucky can slug you right in the mouth. You know, they're a hard-nosed team. if you're not quite ready and you've been patted on the back for 2 weeks and you come out and get knocked around, sometimes you can see an upset. But I just don't think Kentucky's good enough.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you. Real quick, we got Slim in the chat here talking about some Breeders' Cup action. Make sure if you're watching this, you're enjoying the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a ton of live streams over the next week, all about the Breeders' Cup. Slim chiming in. He'll be live 3 o'clock Eastern. That'll be the first stream for that next week for the Breeders' Cup. Actually, we'll be live Monday for the draw Breeders' Cup. Slim will be live Wednesday. We'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday live shows. So make sure you're subscribed to this channel. Get Dudes Who Bet Daily every day, as well as get those Breeders' Cup shows next week. All right, let's jump over to the ice. We have one marquee game we're going to talk about here before Aaron's got some best bets. We'll get to those as well. 10 o'clock puck drop. Oilers heading into the Flames. The 5-1 Flames playing very well, even though they had a little bit of turbulent offseason. McDavid currently leading the NHL in goals and points. Who you like here, Papa Dude?
Well, I watched Edmonton a couple games in a row. I think they're starting to come on. I really like them a lot. I think Calgary's kind of off to a start we didn't really think they would be. I think they're vulnerable in this game. I think I picked on the money line. I think I picked Edmonton tonight. I kind of think they're going to go in there and get them. That's a big rivalry, huge rivalry. Should be a great game.
Plus 125 on the Oilers side. The total's at 6.5. Give me Edmonton in the over. Parlay them together. You get about plus 250. I think Edmonton wins. They have to score. And so I think it's almost correlated there. If you like Edmonton, you can go ahead and play the over, and hopefully you're able to get the job done there. All right, let's head to the NBA. We have one marquee game tonight on the NBA to cover. Hawks and the Bucks. Bucks laying 5 at home against a 4-1 Hawks team, playing a lot better defense than anyone expected. Total sitting at 224. Any thoughts on this one, Papa Dude?
Well, the only thing that would bother me on the Bucks, they had a game last night. Did Atlanta play last night?
They did not. I don't believe so.
I don't think they did either. So they're going to be rested. Milwaukee looked great last night. I mean, they're nails.
The Hawks did play last night, but they played the Pistons, so they sort of didn't.
Right. But they do have to travel into Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's better than they are. I don't think they'll have an answer for Giannis. So I like the Bucks in this one. I can't remember what the line was. It was fairly, what was it like?
They're laying 5.5 right now.
5.5. I think they covered that. I just think they're better than the Hawks. I'm not sold on the Hawks yet, but they've gotten off to a good start. And last year they got off to a horrible start. So they're good. But I'm going with the Bucks.
It's going to be one of their first real tests. Give me the Bucks -3 in the first half. I think the Bucks come out well at home here, able to get the job done. The Hawks may be a little bit slower than them. Celtics-Cavs game last night, nailed it. The Cavs end up winning. They easily covered the 6.5. Went way over. I was leaning toward the under there. Went way over, but at least we were able to get the Cavs home and a nice win there. All right, we're still flying through this because we got a lot to cover still, Papa Dude. Let's head out to Keeneland first. Race number 8, the Byron Station, grade 3, going a mile on the turf for 3-year-olds. Wide open race here.
Yes.
I mean, there's just a ton of different places that you could go. Let me see if I can get the updated scratches here just to check if we lost anybody. Pull up Keeneland real quick. Race number 8, 13 through 16 scratch. So the full field of 1 through 12 are in this spot. Where did you go on top?
Oh, I thought this was the 7th race. No?
Byron Station's the 8th.
Oh, crap. It's all you.
I might have sent the wrong one.
I think Aaron texted me the wrong one. That's what I think happened. I'm sorry. I thought he told me the 7th. So
no problem. All right. Well, I went with the one horse ready to perform on top here. Brad Cox Rosario should be forwardly placed off the rail. You're getting 5-1 on the morning line, which I think is a pretty good price. That was Magic's top pick as well in the Magic Mike Show. If you're interested in catching the entire Pick 5 sequence, go check out the Magic Mike Show here on their YouTube channel over on racingdudes.com. Got it up for both of those. Long shot that I'm a little bit interested. We'll see if this morning line's accurate this time. The 3-horse Fort Washington, second off the layoff, ran sneaky good in that Kentucky Downs race where no one could close, and he was actually closing. Ended up finishing 5th in that spot. Shug second off the layoff here, I think, is a little bit interesting. You're getting 15-1 on the morning line. So I'd check out the 1 and the 3 there. Also had some interest in the 8 as well, if you want to look at the 8. So that's Keeneland's race number 8, the Byron Station. Let's head over to Santa Anita. Did he text you Santa Anita 7?
Yes.
There we go. We're going to talk about the 7th race over at Santa Anita, the Twilight Derby, grade 2, mile and an 1/8 for 3-year-olds once again. Papa Dude, who'd you like on top here?
Well, I just kind of my new strategy on horse racing is just kind of glance a little bit, look at stuff. I don't analyze it like you do. So you can pick me apart here if you want to. But the horse that I like horses that have a natural progression, they kind of progress along.
Mm-hmm.
And I like War at Sea, the way they've handled this horse. Won a maiden, went to an allowance, then threw it into a grade 2, and he finished what was it? He lost by a length. I think he finished third. Yeah, third in the grade 2 Dell. Well, then he went to 100K stakes before that, right?
Yep.
Okay, and just natural win. Throw him in a grade 2, finishes third, lost by a length, throw him right back in this one. That's the kind I like. That's a natural progression. I looked at the Cobble Spirit a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Won a grade 3, was 5th in a grade 2. He's okay too. And then I use Time for him a lot, and they like Speaking Scout. Maybe you do. I don't really like that horse that well. So if you do, tell me why. But I like War at Sea at this, just for the natural progression that they're taking this horse.
I put Seeking Scout on top here. I like the 8 quite a bit in this spot. You get Graham Motion shipping into California. Generally, I'm going to take East Coast turf horses over West Coast turf horses. You get Hernandez up, one of the best riders. I think that may make a pretty big difference in this spot. I will take Hernandez over Mike Smith any day of the week. Much more aggressive, much more tactical in my mind. And I like the fact that this horse has been running against just a lot better. You see Grand Sonata, kitted in a couple times in their main event. I mean, this is just a lot more talented horses that Speaking Scout has been running against than the horses you're seeing here on the West Coast. So I'll take the 8 at 3-1 on top. I think the 1's a little bit interesting. 7 Wonders, Peter Urton. This horse ran really well, breaking its maiden at Del Mar. Comes back in an optional N1X allowance and just did not have a very good trip. Was never comfortable, never settled. Switches over to Hector Berrios today, who I love as a jockey. Been doing wonderful things out in California after coming from Florida, getting 15-1 on the morning line. So I'm a little interested in the 1 here at a price as well, 7 Wonders. But on top, I'm going to go with Speaking Scout. Papa Dude on top, taking War at Sea. I do think War at Sea is a really legit horse in this spot. Makes a ton of sense just from a numbers perspective.
Back at the 7th race at Keeneland,
Yes.
since I could look at this, what did you think of King Fury in that race?
The 7th at Keeneland?
Uh-huh.
King Fury's not in the 7th at Keeneland.
Oh, he's not?
No. King Fury's the 9th at Keeneland.
Okay, the 9th. That's the one. That's the one I analyzed. It was the 9th. That's the.
All right. Well, let's talk about the grade 2 from Keeneland, 1.125 over the dirt course. I don't like King Fury.
Okay. I just wondered. He's been running decent. Who do you like in that one?
I like First Captain, the 4-horse.
Okay.
I am actually interested in the 4-1 Cold Exacta. I almost made that my best bet of the day. It was one of the 2 that I was looking at. I think West Willpower shows speed from the rail. You've got cheap speed on the outside in First Samurai. I think you're going to see West Willpower eventually take over in the backstretch around the final turn. And I think First Captain's just the best horse. So I thought about playing the 4-1 Cold Exacta, but I decided to play one from Backwood instead because I like an Exacta there today.
All right. Sounds good.
All right, let's head into the best bets here, Papa Dude. We'll kick it off with Aaron, who is going to go to the ice and play a 2-team moneyline parlay. The St. Louis Blues trying to get right tonight, and the Florida Panthers. Both these teams coming off losses. Aaron's reason for playing this bet: to show Papa Dude and I how to pick hockey. That was his quote. That was his reasoning behind this. After we went 0-2 last night, and our basketball picks went 3-0.
Not so fast. I would not pick the Blues right now against anybody after the way they played the other night. And that's a good point, Kevin. Aaron is hammered drunk by noon. No, he told me this bet way before that. Now, I was nice to him.
Even claim being drunk.
No, that's right. I don't like either leg of this because I don't think the Panthers are trustworthy right now. But sometimes in hockey, you never know. So I didn't say a word when he sent me his pick. I just don't like the Blues right now. Do you?
I have liked one period that they've played. One period. It was the third period of game 1. That was the period I enjoyed watching the St. Louis Blues. The rest of the time, I felt like throwing things at the wall when I've been watching them play. And so pretty frustrating start to the season. We really need the young guys to pick it up. But Binnington's played very well.
Yes.
Canadians aren't very good. I get where he's headed here, but
Me too.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. All right, Papa Dude, let's head over to your best bet here, heading to the college football gridiron, and I agree with you on one of these two picks. I'm excited to talk about this one. I don't disagree with the other. I just really like one of these two.
Well, I kind of look, and I've been doing a count of parlays. Missed it last night, but I'm blaming that on just dumb luck there with the Avalanche. Didn't score a goal. Anyway, I would never bet the score would have been 1-0 last night. But I don't know which one you like the best, but we're getting like plus 151, 161, something like that. Kind of
168.
Yeah. I mean, I like both of these teams to win, and this is just a money line. We'll talk about the Arkansas one first. Auburn showed they had a little offense in their last outing, but that's the only one they've shown. And Arkansas has consistently been good on offense all year long. And I just think the Razorbacks are better than Auburn. They're not trustworthy is the only thing with me. They lose games sometimes they shouldn't, but they are better than their record. They've had a week off. Auburn has too. If they can go in there and just play ball, don't worry about where they're at, and I think they will. They should have beat Auburn 2 years ago and got screwed out of a game, and they're a better team now. I like that one a lot. I think they're going to win. And the one I like the best is the North Carolina game. I don't think Pittsburgh's very good. And North Carolina has been playing well. Defensively, they're a little suspect, but Pittsburgh's offense is not very good. They only scored 10 in Louisville last week. I just think North Carolina might roll them. It's possible. So to me, it's kind of a bet that's kind of safe. Plus, we can make some money if there is such a thing as safe in college football. Plus, we can make some pretty good money on this. So I'm about 75% to 80% sure on both of them. I almost threw Oklahoma State in instead of Arkansas because the value was better. But I just think Arkansas is a better bet. I do. So let's hope
I bet Arkansas minus the 3.5 today. They're getting their quarterback KJ back. Do you know how? So I dove into this. Mm-hmm. Auburn is 115th in the nation against the run. Yeah. Arkansas loves to run the football, and especially with KJ's in there. He was out last game. We're going to get him back today. They're going to be full strength there. What's Arkansas's weakness on defense? Their secondary.
Yeah.
What's Auburn really bad at?
Throwing
the football.
Right.
This seems to be the perfect matchup for Arkansas on both sides of the football. You have the weakness of Auburn's defense facing the strength of Arkansas's defense, and the strength of Auburn's offense has to face the strength of Arkansas's defense. So both sides of the ball favor Arkansas in this spot. I bought it down to 3, and then in a parlay, and then I've got it 3.5 straight. I like Arkansas quite a bit in this.
I do.
A little more nervous about the North Carolina game, specifically because their defense is a sieve, but I do agree with you. Pittsburgh, not great. Their offense is pretty weak. So you're just hoping that a bad defense can beat a bad offense here.
Yeah. And I think North Carolina's had a week off. I think they had a bye last week. And
so I'm not positive.
Yeah, I'm not sure either now. I think they did, though, but Pitt got beaten. Louisville's a little better than we think, I think. But I just think North Carolina's pretty good. And it's at home. And I don't think they're going to lose this game at home. So we'll see.
Much better at home. Pittsburgh struggles a little bit on the road. I can give you a live weather report here. It's going to be about 50 degrees, 55 degrees. Looks like no rain today. It was raining earlier this morning in Raleigh. All right, let's head over to my best bet to close this puppy out. I'm going to head to Aqueduct, race number 6. I'm going to play an ice cold exacta here in this spot. Now, every now and then you see a race, and you can just see it in your head how it's going to play out. In this race, there's a very clear pace advantage for 2 horses, the 7 horse and the 1 horse. The 7 horse will get the lead on the outside. And I would expect that you're going to see Stop War to go to the front, make the lead fairly easily. The 1 horse, Mrs. Green, is the only other horse with any lick of speed here. But I love the progression we've seen from Mrs. Green, who has just gotten better and better and better and better as this 3-year-old season has progressed. You're getting 7-2 on the 7. You're getting 2-1 on the 1. I think that will be about the off odds. I don't see any way this doesn't go 7-1 or 1-7. I like Mrs. Green more. I think we're going to get like 8 or 9-1 here on this exacta. So sign me up for the 1-7 cold exacta. I almost played the 1-7-6 cold try here because I think the 6 is a very likely 3rd place horse. I almost played a 1-7, 1-7-6 try because, again, I think that 6 horse is locked there. I don't see how this doesn't go 1 or 7 up front. So I'm going to play the 1-7 cold exacta, but I think the 1-7-6 are pretty much locked up into the top 3. And it's whether or not the 7's able to go gate to wire or the 1 Mrs. Green's able to run that 7 down late. I think the 1 runs the 7 down late. So I'll play the 1-7 cold.
Good. I'm glad you didn't go the trifecta. I don't like those.
You're probably going to get like 20 to 1 on that try. And I think it's a very, very realistic try that you could see. I'll probably have a few shekels on that thing cold as well. Okay. But we're just going to go with the exacta for the show. I'm not going to get that aggressive. We don't want to go too crazy here.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much for joining us here. We got a full day of sports today. We've got the World Series. We've got college football kicking off at noon. We've got multiple tracks going. We have 3 major tracks going today. We got Backward, we got Keeneland, we got Santa Anita, multiple graded stakes at each one. Make sure you head over to racingdudes.com. Free picks every race, every day. You got premium products over there for you as well. Let's run through the best bets of the day here. Papa Dude taking a money line parlay. Arkansas Razorbacks, North Carolina Tar Heels, plus 168 on the money line. Aaron headed over to the ice, taking the Blues and the Panthers, plus 102. I'm going to go to Backward, race number 6. Give me an ice cold exacta, 1-7 for the week. We are 4-2, up $340 for the year. We're up $1,521 off a $100 base bet. Thank you very much for joining us here at Dudes Who Bet Daily. We'll see you back tomorrow at noon. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We are about to throw so much Breeders' Cup content at you. You're going to be just over the moon. It's going to be a blast next week. Cannot wait for next weekend. Papa Dude, any final thoughts here?
One upset to look at, maybe. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Trap game, TCU at West Virginia.
You're not the only person I've heard this from.
Okay.
You like the Mountaineers?
I don't think I'm not sure they're going to win. 7.5 is a lot to cover. TCU has been up for 3 or 4 weeks in a row. This is a tough place to play. So kind of a trap game situation there. I would be watching it.
A little bonus bet there from Papa Dude. I like USC tonight, laying the points too at Arizona. I think they're just going to roll as well. Hopefully we can get those college football bets home as well. Thank you again for joining us, everybody. Good luck with all your bets at the racetrack or on the gridiron or the baseball diamond or the ice rink or the hardwood, wherever you want to go. We got a busy sports day. We'll see you again tomorrow at noon.